Good morning, Maureen. Good morning, Jenny. Good morning, Angelina. Good morning, entire universe. It's starting to get a little bit sunny outside. That's nice. So I hope everybody had a good day yesterday. It seemed like in my part of the world here, um, people are getting kind of stressed with the news and everything. It's always sometimes I wonder if it's they figured out a way to hack our brains so they can get clicks. Um, because it's just that trend, at least with the people I know, that they get on the internet, they read the news, they scroll through the reels, and I've been working on not doing that. And yesterday was a good example of it was the reading is kind of exactly what I needed to just remember that keep things simple. Um, Sometimes the only thing I can offer the universe is to not get caught up into all that anxiety. Maybe trying to be, that positive. Um, it kind of reminds me of somebody had once said, and they were, I'm not religious at all, but they tried to explain that when you are trying to do good, when you are following a philosophy, and in this example, he said, why do we try and do good? Why do we try and be, righteous? Why do we try and do, help people? He said, because we might be the only Bible anybody ever sees. And, that kind of stuck with me. It's like, we all talk about all the positives that we want to do, but we might be the only positive somebody sees that day. Um, and I mean, it's not about stuffing our feelings. If we feel, we feel. But sometimes it's about, you know, if I can understand what's going on with me, and I use a tarot for that as a reflection of the universe and all that stuff. If I can use that, as yesterday we talked about, as a seed for my day, then I may be that one positive that somebody needs. And again, when we talk about the six of coins, sometimes we need to look for that positive. And so we need to build up our bank and build up the people around us for when we need it. But yesterday was just a good example because I see so many people. Good morning, Jenna. I don't know about you guys, but so many people now are just so stuck to the internet, and like me, can easily get bounced around. But when we have the meditation, something like we're doing today, cards that remind us we can take a breath in the morning. Just that light switch there is saying, the day may go the same as yesterday or the day before, but we've done something at least a little bit different right now. The brains and our neurons took that extra breath, which can remind us that, where's our feet at? Feet comfortable on the floor and rolling our ankles. How good that feels. And then having the butt do the kitty dance and taking a breath and seeing where the shoulders are, rolling them a little if need be, and then the neck. So now, at least we know we're taking we're taking advantage of a moment where, if nothing else, even if all the madness comes down today, we're building a foundation, and that's going to change us no matter what. Jenny, yes, it's not hiding our head in the sand. It's shining our light heart. That's true. I've been accused of having rose-colored glasses. I've been accused of just that, like hiding my head. Don't you read the news? Why aren't you upset by this? And I do. I stay right on top of everything. But I just think that I'm very impressionable. And yes, I believe that they can hack my brain so that I will click their clicks and I will look at their advertisements. And so doing this in the morning is me girding my loins to remember, you know, it's it's about, using the tools that I have, which is the people out there, you people, all you people, for that light. It doesn't mean that everything goes away. It just means that we can be the swords and see things for the way they are and not have it affect our cups so that we can find positive ways through it instead of just being angry and yelling at the sky. I know, I'm done with my rants. And I've got my extra breath in there. And I've got my cards here. This deck is my security blanket. But we may be the only light that somebody sees today. We may be the only, what's the word I'm looking for? Not positive, but we may be the only hope, the only, well, I guess light, but you know what I mean? And again, it's not by us stuffing. If we need help, if we need to talk to people, we do it. But if we can reflect on the good, on a positive side, then we do that. And again, that may be the time that somebody needs to see somebody doing that. Wow, I guess the conversation I had yesterday really affected me. So, what am I going to do here then with us? We are going to make our 3 stacks. And each one of these is like a different thread going out to the universe. It's like each one of these is a different thought or idea. And if we believe in the multiverse, it's like each one of these is a different path, because this stack will lead us down one path. This stack's a totally different conversation that will lead us down a different conversation than this one right here. So the question is, what string do we want to pull? And today, you know what? I'm going to go right for the center stack. I'm going right for the heart. So, I'm going to do our 3 in 1. And then the exciting part. I really, really love doing that. Flipping the cards over one at a time, like we're reading the pages of a book, because it really is always exciting. So, what do we have for the first card today? We have the Queen of Wands. So queens are the element of water because they're the spiritual heart of the kingdom. Again, court cards can be us or somebody else. Court cards are not male or female. It's masculine energy, feminine energy. And this is that nurturing energy that we have. This is that energy for taking care of the kingdom, making sure the people are okay, all those things like that. But she's the Queen of Wands, and wands are fire. So she is about passion and creativity. And this is like something perfect if you want to create a new project. Yet she is the one that will have the imagination and the drive and the joy that goes with, mixing fire and water can be quite exciting when it's done in a positive way. So, but she's looking at this card. And what is she looking at? She's looking at the Knight of Swords. So, Knights are the element of fire. Wands are the element of fire. Swords are the element of air. Swords are our thoughts, our ideas, and sometimes our anxieties. So they're kind of looking at each other because the Knight, the knight being fire, he's in the 15th century. They're the first ones we want to send into battle, right? Because they're young, they're ready to go, they want to prove themselves, they want to learn to become the king. And so sometimes they just charge into things. So these two together, we have all this passion and drive with the Queen of Wands, and here we have the fire and the drive and somebody who gets an idea and sometimes just runs with it. And when we have more than one court card, based on the reading, it could be, each one of these could be a different personality. Somebody that we know. One of them could be us. Or sometimes when we get court cards, they are aspects of our personality. So this could be a flow of, we get an idea. We get this burn, we get this notion. And what would happen if we take it in a linear fashion and we just run with it? So, Marie, good to remember the Serenity Prayer. Absolutely. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I can't change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Another one that I had learned, and again, I am definitely not religious, but the prayer of St. Francis, again, when you have positive words, the prayer of St. Francis was another one that I definitely learned early on as an original form of meditation. Now that I think about it, reciting the prayer of St. Francis over and over. So what's the next card then? Look at the supplicants coming to the Queen. So we all have a lot to learn. The Queen of Wands, she sees what's going on in the world. She understands what's going on in the world. But she also knows that there's the positive. There's fire and there's creativity. Sometimes that is what we need to be able to make a change, is to be the Queen of Wands, to have that passion, to have that energy. And sometimes we need that energy of the knights to be able to accomplish things. So it's almost as if parts of ourselves that, think of it, when we're younger, that drive we have. The Queen dispensing these ideas, and instead of the world just weighing us down, imagine it's like we get fired up and we get up on our horse and we're feeling positive. We want to get out the door. And then we have the Knight of Cups. Cups is the element of water. Knights are the element of fire. Queens are the element of water. Wands are the element of fire. So we see these three cards that are fire elements. And combining, it's getting ideas, but still being able to have our heart and our spirituality and running with it. This is about looking at our passion, looking at our energy. Sometimes when the universe just sucks us dry, we feel tired. We feel, listless, melancholy. This spread reminds us that sometimes we need to go to the Queen of Cups, and or the Queen of Wands, and we need to ask her, what would you suggest? And she might say, something like to the Knight of Swords, it's mind over matter. If you don't mind, then it don't matter. But she probably is not going to say that. But she's probably going to give a positive speech about passion and love and fire and energy and creativity and creating something out of the chaos. And she's teaching us about the Knight of Cups. Because the Knight of Cups, with that fire and water, it is about taking our spirituality and moving forward with it. I mean, it's almost like a gift, isn't it? I've got this for somebody. You know, today I was talking to the Queen of Wands. And oh my gosh, I don't know where she gets that fire and energy from, but she's inside me and having this discussion. I don't feel like it, but she's there. And she was talking about, you know, we've got our ideas and things like that that we can change, charge with, do something different with, and then maybe have an offer for somebody else. Maybe, you know, keep our emotions and our feelings right here where we can see them in this cup and do something with them. But let's see what the advice card is. It's the Four of Swords. And what is, Maureen? A good time to do something very expressive. Artwork, song, dance, sculpture, maybe knocking down a wall. Yeah, I mean, there's so much fire in this. And then we have the Four of Swords, which is by far my favorite card in the deck. Because swords are our anxieties. Swords sometimes, you know, but they're also our thoughts. And when we have, and there are ideas. And sometimes when the world is a little bit crazy, look at this flower. Look at how peaceful this flower is. When we have four swords, like four legs on a table, it's about finding stability. Even with all this fire here. Maureen talks about the passion and good time to be expressive in artwork. It's when we take a moment and a breath. We need quiet if we're going to dream. And in our dreams, we can show and we can express our desires. We can see them in a dream. And once we can see them, then we can create them. Once we see our dreams, but we have to be quiet to see our dreams. You know, and Jenny's saying sometimes we need to step back and let the answer come to us. Yeah. So when we allow ourselves time to just relax, go into the Four of Swords, that's when the Queen of Wands can shine through. So, today let's relax into that Four of Swords so we can get away from the world and then see what we're really supposed to see. See what we're really supposed to express. You know, really let that positive, let our positive ideas and thoughts and desire to do things come out. And we're doing kind of the Four of Swords right now. So, with that, I hope everybody gets a chance to take a breath today. And then see what kind of a positive thing we can create or manifest. And again, that we can maybe show somebody that it's like, even if it's all heck on earth right now, you know, we don't need to fuel that. You know, we can be an island, or maybe we need to just be the Four of Swords and find that island. So today, take care of yourselves. I will see everybody again tomorrow. Thanks a lot. Hope I didn't ramble too much today. But yeah, the conversation was kind of a downer, but it's, you know, I feel like I brought some kind of at least positiveness to it. And I really felt it because you guys and because doing this in the morning. So it's not like I had to fake it. So again, thanks again, everybody. Take care.
Stars in the sky, cards in my hand, searching for signs, lost in the sand. Whispers of fate, Echoes of dreams in the dark slate. Nothing's as it seems. Flip the card, turn around. Mysteries we have found. In the shadows we dance. Take a chance, take a chance. Ghostly figures, guiding light. Readers and seekers in the night. Hopes and fears written in gold. Truth appears as stories unfold. Flip the card, turn around. Mysteries we have found. In the shadows we dance. Take a chance, take a chance. Ghostly figures, guiding light. Readers and seekers in the night. Hopes and fears written in gold. Truth appears as stories unfold. Flip the